Hey everyone, what's going on? What's993 here, I got coming the Tiger, and today we're back playing some more Wizard101. Today I'm really excited to be making a video that I've been wanting to make for a long time. I kept putting this off. This will be a little bit of a longer video, but I'm just having a really good mood. And it's summer starting, things are just feeling good vibes all around, so I decided I'm done putting this video off. I'm ready to make this video. This is my top 10 favorite worlds in Wizard101. Now this is my personal top 10. It may not be your top 10, it's not going to be like the best worlds or anything like that. This is my top 10 favorite worlds for my own reasons, whether it be design, detail, storyline, significance, emotional background, iconicness, all our creativity, that kind of stuff. My top 10 favorite worlds. So hope you guys do enjoy this little bit of a longer video. It's going to be really fun, and let's get into it. Starting out with number 10. Here we go.
The Wizard101 spiral expands to the treacherous new world of Zafaria. Your skills and your spells will determine your fate.
Do you have the power to defeat me?
Now my number 10 is actually exchangeable between 8, 9, 7, okay, let's be honest. 8, 9, and 10 were the three hardest worlds for me to pick, and these three worlds can really be swapped around in any order. This was just the order that I thought of in my head. So, I guess my number 10 will have to be Zafaria. This is just a all-out beautiful world, and there's just various things that I just extremely love about it. For one, the music. I love this music. This is actually updated music from when this world was first released in game. By the composer Nelson Everhart. I love this music, first of all. It's truly amazing. But getting down to what I really like about this world is I just love the entire design of it. We come to Zafaria after we learn of Morganth and her plan, spoilers by the way, where we come and we learn about her plan to get back her power, and we have to basically unite the tribes of Zafaria and adventure our way through to figure out where she's going. And this is a significant world of the plotline. This was the second major world they added in game after the Master arc, so fairly recent to the game's release. This world was added in. This was a high moment. I remember when they put this in, it was just insane. But this world, I just love it. It's extremely beautiful. It has a huge amount of culture representation of it from various cultural influences. I loved the design between like the forest, the waterfall, and the savannah. And then just the overall theme of this world, I think, is just truly spectacular. Everyone knows Zafaria. A lot of people just really aren't fond of Zafaria because of the kind of difficulty of it. Zafaria has been nerfed when it was first released. It had a little bit of a challenge to it. I think it had like defeat and collect 10. And that was a lot of quests like that. Defeat and collect 12, defeat and collect 6, defeat and collect 8, that kind of quests. And those aren't anyone's personal favorites. And I mean, I don't mind them. They just have to be timed right. But it was a little bit of a challenge when this world was introduced, but then they have nerfed it since then, which I greatly appreciate it. And yeah, just an overall beautiful, stunning world. Great significance, great music, great culture. I love it. And yeah, so like I said, my 8, 9, and 10 spots, you can really just mix them around anywhere, but here's my number 9. My number 9 goes out to the World of Polaris. A crazy, beautiful world with a lot of just insane detail. Polaris is a world that has a little bit of a different kind of entry into the game experience for me. I didn't know anything about Polaris until I saw it in the update notes and like the Ravenwood Bulletin when I was logging in. I was like, oh, that's cool. It's like a Arctic polar world with penguins. I didn't know anything about the test realm or anything. So I was like, okay, this is cool. Let's check it out. So Polaris was kind of a surprise to me. But the amount of just detail and mechanics that goes into this world, such as every little snowflake, every little star in the sky, the color of the Borealis in the background, It is just an incredible world with insane colors and details. And it does have significance to the story. This is the first world after Chrysalis when we learn of Grandfather Spider's presence in the spiral, and we come face to face with one of his children, Rasputin, aka the Rat, and his plan to use the Sky Anchor to, I guess, control the spiral or take over the spiral. That part's a little bit foggy, but this really introduced us into Arc 3 after we did Chrysalis, and this is the shortest main world in the game as well. So this world was kind of a brisk refresher after the long world of Chrysalis. It was kind of just a, relax and let's just kind of see what happens next. Go with the flow and we'll see what happens, which I really like about this world. The map itself, I love the design of Polaris. I love this Arctic winter wonderland. It deserves its number 9 spot. The closest map, well, I mean, it could deserve higher, but I had to put number 9, guys. But Polaris is this beautiful world. It can only be compared to Winter Tusk, but if you ask me, Polaris is just the perfect winter wonderland in the game. Some of my personal favorite areas in here would have to just be the Borealis Peak. I mean, really, the River of Frozen Tears and like the Frozen Waterfall, that was a pretty cool area, if I do say so myself. And this was the first world that we got introduced into the Scholars, and then the Arcanum, and then Advanced Shadow Magic. We started by coming out in Walrusburg, trying to figure out what is the cause of Bartleby's sudden illness by a frozen wind. And we come here and we learn of this kind of empire rule, and we have to defeat the walrus and free the penguins. The penguinians, something like that. And then we have to free them, and we just kind of have to explore Polaris, defeat the Empire, and learn of Rasputin and his plan as well. And then along the way, we're introduced to Baba Yaga and into the Arcanum's presence and the Scholar's presence. So just a wonderful world, very significant to the storyline, because this is when we go into the Arcanum. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful world. And I love it. It has a large cultural representation of the history of Russia and France. Really, it's a beautiful world. It's just completely unforgettable. All of the worlds in the game are just unforgettable in the way, but Polaris has that frozen exploration vibe to it. I love it. But guys, let's move on to number 8.
Dark forces have been unleashed in the spiral. Continue the battle in the all-new world of Chrysalis. Harness all new powers. The spiral has changed forever.
This may come as a surprise to y'all guys, but number 8 just has to go to the world of Chrysalis. This world is beautiful in a way that is unmatched to other worlds, in my opinion. Chrysalis is kind of one of the most significant worlds in the game. It was the first world where we were introduced to shadow magic. It is extremely iconic. It is out of the top 3 longest worlds in the game, next to Mirage and Imperia. Maybe Azteca is up there, but this world has a huge iconic feel. All of the higher level wizards know about this world. There was just a complete challenge to kind of get through it at first. This was just really a big deal. This was the first world that they did a part 1, part 2 update to, excluding the whole Grizzleheim Winter Tusk idea. But something about Chrysalis is just that the storyline is so unique. And the storyline is it's just a kind of like a refresher and something now we hadn't seen in the game before. This world is just super iconic because I remember one of the commercials when this world came out in 2000. I don't know what date Chrysalis came out. 2013, 2014, I think were the part 1s and part 2, 2013, 2014. When this world came out, they had a commercial that showed that had and it was like shadow magic is released and the spiral has changed forever. That was an iconic commercial. That was kind of the end of those Wizard101 commercials on television, but that was something I know that myself and a lot of people that I knew were just aware of. And we come here to this beautiful world. We learn that there is the Umbra Legion that has completely taken over this world for years. It's been sorrow. It's faded into a shadow, and these people, these little mouse people, I guess you could say, their utopia has been taken away from them, and they were hardened into these crystal prisons. And the only way to free them was to slowly cleanse the land of the Umbra Empire, the Umbra Legion, and basically find our way to Morganth, and then just try to unite as many people to attempt to take her down. And this world is significant because we get to fight Morganth in the very end. We learn of her plan to use the Song of Creation in her own voice to recreate the spiral in her image. This world has a lot of that iconicness to it. It was the first world that we were introduced to Old Cobb, aka Grandfather Spider. This was the entryway into the Arc 3. And there's just so much detail, and this world is huge. We started out with Bastion, the Silent Market, we got the Moon Cliffs, Last Wood, Tyrian Gorge, Fort Rockius, Crescent Beach, Ruined Alcazar, Radiance Reborns, the Sardonyx, Conda Desert, the Hive, and Shadow Palace. The biggest world at the time, a beautiful world, and it has beautiful music. And over time, this world became just more positive, more colorful, more vibrant. As you progress through the world, the areas progress as well. This grass comes, the trees come, the butterflies come. A little detail that I love. That music is just so powerful. I love it. This is such a strong, powerful world. And it's definitely going to be unforgettable. I truly love this world. But without further ado, guys, let us go to number 7. Number 7, we have the wonderful spiritual land of Mu Shu. This world was expected to be on the list. This is probably the most iconic world in Wizard101, or at least one of those top iconic worlds. Mu Shu was the final world in the original release of Wizard101, and Dragonspire came right after. But for the wizards that got here, I wasn't there at this time, but for the wizards who got here, I can just imagine the suspense left behind once we learn of how the storyline kind of just stopped right there, and then the update had to be released to continue. Going back to this world, there is just a lot of mixed memories with this, because this is the world where we come, because we learn Malistaire took the Croconomicon from Marleybone, and we learn that he comes to Mu Shu. We don't necessarily know why, but we do come here, and then we learn that the Emperor has fallen ill, and Mu Shu is currently being tainted by a darkness, and we have to go through and save Mu Shu, and slowly try to piece together everything that's happened. We have to drive back these enemy armies, and we have to make sure Mu Shu is just spiritually clean, and then we confront various Anis to do this, and in the end we confront the iconic Jade Ani. After we fight him, we learn that Malistaire actually was the one who weakened the Emperor and brought chaos to Mu Shu, and we learn that he actually takes the Spiral Key to Dragonspire from the Emperor to go to Dragonspire so he can prepare the Dragon Titan for the resurrection of Sylvia and the possible destruction of the Spiral along its way. So this was the last kind of moment before we knew, okay, now it's about to be time to confront the biggest bad guy that we know, and that'll be it. He'll be beat, and then what else we're going to do? There's going to be just so much craziness, we don't know what to expect, and that was my emotions when I was kind of learning the storyline. I can only imagine what it was like for people who were not spoiled about how the game would end, who got to Mu Shu, beat it, and just imagine the amount of suspense they had, not knowing what was going to come out after that. And boy, was Dragonspire a surprise to them. Mu Shu is just such an iconic world. We come here, we make so many memories. This was, like I said, the final world in the original release, and then the second to last world just a couple months after. When you come to this world, you want to explore. Because even though the same theme of green grass, trees, bamboo forest, and mountain peaks in the horizon surround this entire world, literally make up this world, you just can't help but explore every individual area, because every individual area has something unique about it, something that makes you think, okay, what's down this one, or what's down this path. This world is pretty big. This is the biggest world compared to the first 3 worlds. Mu Shu really just has a lot of areas in it, and it has some really, dungeons that you really can't forget. For example, the Shirataki Temple, that's an iconic dungeon. I always get these mixed up. I think it's Crimson Fields that's a dungeon. Yeah, it should be Crimson Fields, or maybe Tataki Outpost. I get these two mixed up. One of those is a dungeon that's really iconic, and then I believe it's Crimson Fields. And then the Tree of Life, that is a very unique dungeon. Just a lot of iconic moments to kind of wrap up the game for that time period and get ready for the final battle of Celestia. This world also means a lot to me, because I've said this a long time ago, but I was never really a big quester when I first started playing. I just really wanted to explore and mess around and have fun. And I had a friend whose name was Seth. I was around level 20 for most of the time that I played this game. Because my first Wizard 101 video was 2015, I believe. And that was me beating Mu Shu for the first time. So, and I've been playing since 2010, so a lot of the time I just like to run around and have fun. But I had a friend named Seth. He would let me teleport to him to various places, and I remember the first time I came in Mu Shu, I teleported to him, and I was standing about right here. This is where I teleport to him, right here on this path. And the instant I came here, I was like, okay, is that a monster? That was my first thought, because I believe... No, Marleybone was the first world to have, NPCs that move around. I think. Yeah, I can't really think of any Crocotopia. It has to be Marleybone with their little police officers. But I remember, going, okay, what's through there? What's around here? Look at the map. Absorb every little piece of knowledge, you know? And this world just has a lot of iconicness to it. Because I actually teleported to Mu Shu. At this time, I didn't even have Crocotopia unlocked. I was still in Wizard City, like I said, level 10, level 15. And I teleported to Crocotopia through my friend Seth, and then I teleported to Mu Shu through my friend Seth. I hadn't even seen Marleybone at this time yet. So, a lot of memory and nostalgia in this world. This world's probably the most well-known world in Wizard101, aside from Wizard City, of course. Everyone knows Mu Shu. But that is my wonderful, beautiful, spiritual number 7 spot. Time for number 6.
Into Wizard101.
And step into my web of dark magic.
Battle Morganth and all new monsters in the underwater world of Celestia. Unleash the power of new Grandmaster spells and discover lost schools of magic. Host dueling parties in your own private castle. Collect all new pets and mounts as you explore Wizard101's biggest world yet.
How could Celestia not be on my list at all? Coming in number 6 is the underwater world of Celestia. A personal fan favorite. A world super iconic to the oldest Wizard101 players for various reasons. Celestia was the first world of Arc 2. Many people at this time period thought that it would be the end of the game. Many people were like, okay, Malister's done. I guess we're done. This game was fun. And then all of a sudden this world comes out. No one really had an idea of what this world will be. I mean, if you did the test realm, of course you have ideas, but this is for the average player that doesn't do test realm. No one really knew what to expect in this world if they hadn't looked anywhere else. I just not really noticed the amount of detail through this window. I didn't really look through these windows. Anyway, This world was kind of just a surprise to the average player who didn't know anything about Test Realm or anything about future updates. This world is the perfect combination for who I am. I love ocean, sea, storm things. That's just a theme I love to do in video games. It's a theme I love to just explore the idea about. I do like Greek mythology. I was really into Greek mythology, and I still am. And my favorite Greek figure would be Poseidon, the god of the seas, the Stormbringer, Earthshaker, that kind of guy. And this world just signified that perfectly. We got this underwater world. It has a beautiful storyline. I love the colors and vibrance, but it has this. It just nailed this creative storyline where we learn that the Marleybone Geographic Society has built this little base in the underwater world Celestia. We learn that it used to be not underwater, but we learn the history of the Celestials and their race, how they were vanquished by a catastrophic event, and the ocean is so mysterious, we need to explore it ourselves. So some of these areas are in domes. One of them, the floating lands, is literally on top, kind of like the ruins of what used to lay up there. And then the rest of the ruins of what has been lost is buried amongst the sea. This world is just truly mysterious, and we get to learn about the history of the Celestians and their peril. And then we're introduced to Morganth, who at the time we really didn't know who she was or what she was doing. She just makes a very, very brief appearance, and then she's gone. So this storyline was just very mysterious, and I had a ton of fun going through and checking all of it out. It was just an amazing exploration. I really loved it. This world, I think, was beautiful. I really didn't care to look at spoilers back then. I did for Dragonspire, not gonna lie, but past that, I mean, these worlds just kind of, they became who they am, you know? They just became these worlds I had nothing about, and I really didn't know a whole lot of detail, and it was fun exploring them. It really was. So Celestia has a place, I think, in every Wizard101 fan that has been playing since the very early days of the game. It has left an everlasting impression on me, that's for sure. But now, here we have number 5. Coming in number 5 is the mythical fantasy land of Avalon. This world is just honestly breathtaking. I love the vibrance and just the overall like positive feel of this world. It's just a feel-good world. You come here and you just instantly relax. You can't help but listen to the music. Such beautiful upbeat music. And then you see the castle out in the distance. It's just such a beautiful, breathtaking world. It's got beautiful forests, waterfalls, beautiful cloud textures. It's just a wonderful, breathtaking world. Avalon is numbered in its own special way. It has a storyline of it's kind of like a surprise storyline, I guess you could say. It's a world that I don't think really anybody expected would be the way it is, and it has this ability to harness the power of imagination, fantasy, fairy tale, and myth to form together this entire world. We come here learning that this is actually the birthplace of Avalon. We learn that she would be coming here, and so we travel, we visit here along with it, and then we get to learn of the Council of Light, the mythical council that provides guidance and just overwatches the spiral. And we learn that Merle Ambrose is a part of this Council of Light. We come here, we learn that this world has been kind of overrun by monsters since the King Atorius, has mysteriously disappeared, and this beast has taken over Avalon. So we go through, we vanquish the beast, we hold back the monsters, and we unite the Knights of the Silver Rose. As you guys can see, as they appear throughout the center, we unite all these different people from all these different places in Avalon, and they all come here to meet. And they join together to form the Knights of the Silver Rose. And once we come here, we vanquish the beast, and we free King Atorius from his prison, all at the same time learning Morganth's roots, her motives, her plan to rewrite the spiral, and kind of where she came from and why she acts the way she does. Such a beautiful, beautiful world. I love the imagination in it. It's just a very creative outtake on a very amazing just idea and thought. It was a really good world. I had a lot of fun questioning this, and I miss this world. My personal favorite place in this world would have to be Caerleon, the city. I don't even know if I'm saying that right. It might be Caerleon, but Caerleon. I don't know. I said Caerleon, but that is my favorite place. I really like Lakeshore too. Lakeshore was a lot of fun. And man, the crystal caves are just breathtaking, but a beautiful world. I love the design of it. It was an amazing experience. But on to number 4. Coming in number 4 is the World of Wisteria. This beautiful world was one of my favorites the second I got here. You get to this world around level 30, I believe, and I love the storyline. I love the design of the world. This is the shortest world in game. And, I mean, really, I wish it was a lot longer. But this world is just an extremely breathtaking world. I love the contrast, the overall, like, energetic feel that this world has. It's comparable to Wizard City. This is, like, the rival Wizard City. And this is a lot of nostalgia just going through these streets. Because it's one of those worlds that is a fan favorite. And you get to it at a fairly low level. This world introduced the idea that we're not the only school of students learning magic and wizardry. We learn that there is other different schools and academies, and that they're all trying to come together to have like the best student, and that is the Spiral Cup tournament. I love the storyline of Wisteria. I love that idea, and I love the overall design of the world. It's such a good world. And I miss questing in this world. I completed it around level 40, I believe. Probably before then. Maybe, because that's about where you get to when you complete Wisteria. But this whole world is just a Hogwarts-themed place. I love it. It's such a happy world. It's just full of positive vibes. You're just strolling on down here. The music is wonderful. You got all the other schools. Alright, let's see. What schools can I name off of? It's been a little while. Alright, so School of Tempest instead of Storm. School of Spirit, I think, instead of Death. School of... I don't want to say Frost. Frost sounds a little simple, but it might be Frost. I don't know. School of Conjuration, maybe? School of Ember, School of Earth. That's all I can remember. I forgot the balance and the myth and the ice, but I love the this world. It's amazing. It's beautiful, and I love the school designs too. Let's go take a look at the life school. I always do that. I always get the life school and the Pittsburgh Library mixed up, and I think it's funny. Check out the School of Ember. See, I love the designs of these schools, and I love the uniqueness of the teachers. Wisteria is a world that really it needs an expansion. It is the shortest world. I would say it'd probably take you around, if you were listening to dialogue and really just enjoying the world as you went, probably somewhere between 3-4 hours, somewhere right around there. Maybe a little bit less. Like I said, this is one of the smaller worlds and has a rather quick storyline to it. So we come to this world around level 30. Cyrus calls us. I believe it's Cyrus. Might not be Cyrus. It might be Cyrus or Ambrose. I really can't remember, honestly. But one of them calls us and we talk about the Spiral Cup tournament and how we were chosen to represent Wizard City, Ravenwood in the tournament. I want to say it's Ambrose. But we come here. And then we learn that there is a kind of like a little scandal going on. Monsters are trying to overrun the world, and they don't know how they're able to do it. And we learn that out of the students that are competing in the tournament, one of them is a con man who's trying to kind of just be the like best in existence idea, and he kind of just manipulates everything to get his way up, and then we have to fight him in the tournament hall. This world's beautiful. It's just a little bit too short. I think the map might need like a little bit of more detail. I don't know. I feel like the map can be just a little bit more detailed than what it is. But I love the design. Coming to this world, there's just so many memories that, I mean, really, you can't forget. Here's the School of Earth I was talking about. Chester doors. And then he has like the little tunnel in the back. See, I love the designs of all these worlds. This is still here. I remember this. Every time you come in here, he tells you that you're like a cheater or something. Or watch out for the Pigswick folk. Pigswick folk are cheaters. Something like that.
Watch out, wizard. Pigswick folk are cheaters. They'll break
the rules whenever they can get away with it. That is so many memories right there. That's every time you walk into there, and then I think the tournament hall, it plays as well. I'm just embracing the different classrooms here. I love the design of all of them. Not gonna lie, if they eventually set up some kind of expansion, I really do want to see a part 2 expansion to this world, where they add in a sort of Spiral Cup part 2, and they do like some add in a couple more areas. Because I think there's a lot of doorways and gateways, like right here. This one isn't being used. This is potential. And if they even add, you know, just 2 or 3 more areas, just to double the length of the world, I think would be really cool. And we can kind of like, you know, maybe learn a little bit from the teachers, learn different spells from the teachers here, and try to, you know, figure out the tournament again. Sorry guys, I have a habit of not muting my phone during videos. But I love this world. If I had to pick a favorite area, honestly, I mean, I love all the areas in this world. I think they're really cool. Pegasus Place is really cool, but I think I would have to go to Pigswick Academy when I come to this world. Pigswick Academy is probably one of the best places, really, in the Spiral. And then, of course, you know, we got the Tournament Hall, which really just has a nice touch to this world. And we got some pictures here. I wonder if that's Crocotep. I don't think that's Crocotep, but it might be. We got Mouser Drake, Merle Ambrose, Dueling Diego. Yeah, and then we got the Spiral Cup and the different rooms here. So a lot of good times, good memories in this world. But moving on to my number 3.
We'll save Wizard City.
This may be the one.
They'll have to be brave.
They'll face horrible creatures.
They can't do it alone.
They'll make many friends here at Ravenwood School.
They must have great potential.
Of course, they must learn many spells and summon the mightiest of creatures if they are to defeat the greatest threat of all.
Coming in number 3 has to be Wizard City. You guys knew this world had to be somewhere on my list. Wizard City is a world where we start out, this is where our roots are. Pun intended. This is a world of just magic. It kind of brings together every little like aspect and vibe of the Spiral. This is where we learn of the Spiral's existence. We learn, you know, it's got its own little fire vibe, its own little ice vibe, life vibe, death vibe, with all the different streets and areas. It's just a very unique world. No world truly matches what Wizard City has. Wizard City is like a perfect society. It's where it's a world that represents normal life, really, like everyday life. We come here, and there's just so much to do. You know, you got the commons, the fairground, the schools. You have the shopping district. This is kind of like the different streets. It's like a normal, just a normal city. You know, and it's magical too. That's a little twist on it. And there's always just so much to do here. You have the pet pavilion to train pets, the PvP arena to fight against other players in PvP, shopping district. We have the bazaar to go through auction items. We have the magic mirror, fishing, astrology starts here, gardening starts here. There's always so much to do here in Wizard City, and there's so many different areas and their own they're all unique in their own way. And it's just a very iconic world. This has to be one of the favorite worlds of any Wizard101 player, I think. And it's crazy to think I started playing back in 2010, and I can still come here, and there's always just something about Wizard City that's always something unique, especially with the graphic update. It's just so beautiful. A lot has changed, over the years, but this world is still here, and it's still the same iconic image that it's always been. And it has a wonderful plotline, I think, of how we are supposed to be enrolled into Wizard City, but we are soon confronted by Celestia, and he escapes with the Eye of History, and we go to Unicorn Way to figure out why the Dark Fairies have turned evil. We go to Old Town, we go to Cyclops Lane, Trend Avenue, Firecat Alley, and we have to defeat the evil there. And then eventually we defeat Lord Nightshade, and we remove all the darkness from Wizard City, and then we follow Celestia to the world of Crocotopia, where we learn that he will take the Croconomicon. Such a iconic storyline that has been around, for a decade, but it's still beautiful, it's still unforgettable, and this just had to be one of my top favorite worlds. There's just so much about this, especially like the commons. It doesn't matter what level you are, level 1, level 130, in the future maybe level 200, who knows. There are always going to be wizards of every level in the commons. I think is really cool, and especially because we have all the different teachers here. It's just a very unique place that we always come back to throughout the storyline. And I like coming back to Wizard City. I hope we get to continue to come back to the storyline a lot, or back to Wizard City a lot in the future storyline of the game. But this is my number 3 spot. On to my number 2. Mirage is an instant favorite for me. This world had one of the most hyped release of any world in the game. I remember back in 2015, maybe early 2016, it was a KI Live, and it was like the Mirage teaser. It was like a 10-second little clip that just had a image of the different people in Mirage, and just kind of give you an idea of what the world would be like. And it was really cool. I remember that. That was a pretty hyped up release. This is one of my favorite worlds in the game for various reasons. It's based off, it has it references the history of Persian history. It references Aladdin, a lot of Star Wars references. This world is a huge reference to a lot of things. It is pretty big. This is one of the longest worlds next to Chrysalis, Azteca, Imperia. This is one of the longest worlds in the game with all these different areas, and I think one of the best plot lines of a lot of the different games that I played. We come here because we learn that the Eye of History might be here, and that Grandfather Spider is trying to reverse the sands of time to bring back the first world and to eventually reclaim his power. So we come to Mirage, we come out in Caravan, we try to kind of We just try to get rid of this barren wasteland that is Caravan and try to bring people that have been stuck in there traveling to Caravan to establish a central hub. We then learn that the Sultana and Agrabah may know about our problem and Xerxes, and at the same time we confront Xerxes and his genie that has the power of shadow magic, and we confront them over in the Alkali Burrows. And so we head back to Agrabah. We learn that the King of Thieves has laid the city in waste, and we have to push back the evil gangs. There's like the Silent Sisters or the Saber Sisters, something like that. There is the Thuggies, the Fangs, and we have to eventually kind of set aside all the conflict in Agrabah as we then join forces. I was thinking of genies, that's why I said Jin. But we then have to join the Sultana and her genie. I always say Jin, genie, the same thing. But we have to join Istar as well to try to unite the different house cats in Mirage. I don't know if I can name them all, I want to try. We have to unite the different house cats. The tabby, Calixco, Persian, Siamese. I think that's all the cats. I might be missing one actually, but I can't think of any other one that I'll be missing. And we have to travel through Mirage. We go to the prison of Instamboa. We meet the just various people around Mirage, and then we eventually learn that Ali Baboon has betrayed us, and he is in the Thieves' Den. A huge reference to Star Wars with the Cantina Band. We have Boba Fett, reference to Boba Fett. Just a very favorable storyline. And then in the end, we actually travel to the, I don't know if it's necessarily the astral plane. I think it's the astral plane, but the realm of the genie. I can't think of the name. Something Palace, but we travel there, and we learn that the genies have betrayed us, and we have to defeat them. And then we actually end up going back in time, and then Grandmother Raven actually halts that process so we can go confront Grandfather Spider in the Chronoverge and reclaim the Eye of History. So a very, very favorable storyline. I love Mirage. My favorite areas is, there's just a lot of areas I like. I actually have more areas I like in this world than to really pick out a favorite. I think Agrabah is really cool. I like the kind of contrast, dynamic comparison of Agrabah to the rest of the desert wasteland. This is a huge reference to Aladdin. I mean, Alkali Burrows, I love the dunes. Instamboa, I think, was just really cool. The underground prison, Utopia. The Yalkal Mountain and the Ruble Waste has just like a big, empty span of desert land and just random travelers. I feel like there's a lot more dynamic things that you can really enjoy in this world. For example, this is a summery themed world. It's a world that if you're playing with friends, you're gonna have a lot of fun questing in this world. I'm telling you guys, this world is pretty fun. Caterwall Canyon, that's a very iconic place. It's one of the first places that we go to in Mirage. It's this huge canyon built deep within the ground, a beautiful waterfall. Got the sun over there. That's pretty cool. Instamboa, like I said, was pretty cool. I really enjoyed that. I like the dune landscape of the Alkali Burrows and the Ruble Waste. I think it's pretty cool just to look out and you see nothing but sand. I just like the beauty of the sand dunes, because it's an expansive area. Even if there is nothing but sand, you can still travel all over these hills. And I think that's really cool. You may never know, there might be an Easter egg out there in the sands that no one has discovered yet. And then even places like I said, Instamboa and Ruble Waste, those are very iconic places. There's just a lot of memories that I have in this world that truly makes it unforgettable. I believe it's the Ruble Waste. I think it's over here by Yalkal Mountain, maybe. That there is a trader merchant dude just standing out here in the sand by himself, and he sells bread. Ramen, yeah, there he is. And he sells bread. And I was pretty sure it doesn't give you anything when they first had it in. Now it's 1 4 to 5, which I think is pretty funny. But ramen's bread. Just such a memorable storyline. We got Instamboa over here. House Calix go down there. Did not know this person was up here actually. Hello. But there's always just so much to explore in the world of Mirage, and I really like that. Take a look inside Instamboa real quick. Ricky Tikki Taffy. Who can remember that little mini dungeon battle of having to battle the three brothers, getting stronger every round. It's good times. Good times. But this is my number 2 spot. Here comes number 1. Before we could get to number 1, the Arcanum is holding a place in every wizard's heart now. We learn that it's kind of like Wisteria in Ravenwood. It's another central place of teachers teaching magic. Just had to make the list of honorary mention. It's just it's a wonderful place. It's not necessarily a world. It's more of a place between worlds outside of existence itself. We get to meet all the scholars. We learn about the Cabal and how their plan is to use any power and any means necessary to reverse time into the first world, which I think is very unique. In this Arcanum, the Arcanum, however you want to pronounce it, when we meet all the different scholars, all the detailed rooms, we really learn that there's a lot of mystery out here in the Spiral that we don't know about, and this kind of brings up the idea that really they can throw anything at us. It's going to be a huge surprise. And this world, I guess it's a world. This place really just had to make an honorary mention on the top list. And I don't remember these blue lines going into that vortex over there. I don't remember that. Is that new? But anyway, on to number 1. So if y'all guys stuck around on the channel for a while and seen my other videos, y'all guys had to know Krokotopia was my number 1 and is my number 1. Krokotopia is a very iconic world. It's the first world that we go to after Wizard City, and it really just kind of shows how different worlds are going to be past that, and you really don't know what to expect after Wizard City. But we come here to this deserty landscape. This world has a pretty cool storyline. This is not like the same storyline of Mirage. This storyline is based off of more of an Egyptian history. We come here searching for Malistaire because we know he came to find the Croconomicon, and we learn that there is an evil empire, so to speak, known as the Tuts, who have enslaved the Manders, and that they were once defeated and put into a great sleep, but they have returned and have awakened due to Malistaire working here in Krokotopia. So we come here, we have to free the various Manders, and we have to kind of drive back the army and unite the Order of the Fang in each one of these tombs: fire, ice, storm, and we have to really find a way to defeat the Empire and locate the Croconomicon before Malistaire gets it, which we then learn has been shipped off to Marleybone. So when it's there, we learn that that's where Malistaire is going to be going, so then we follow him there. This world is very iconic. I remember when I first started coming here, my friend Seth, like I mentioned earlier in the video, I teleported to him to see this world, and I remember all these people that would just stand in the oasis, just exploring every little detail. There was just a lot in Krokotopia to really examine. For example, there's still stuff. The 4 dungeon expansion that they put in, that is here. The teleporter to the hidden pet shop that a lot of people try to figure out how to activate. They would do all kinds of things trying to get up there. That's where you get the croc pet. I remember that. That's one of my favorite pets in the game too. And the Tomb of Storms, waiting for the head to pop up, trying to figure out how to make it pop up, and then eventually you learn how to start up the obelisks. This world has so many memories that really can't be replaced. I remember that there is a special quest where there's like a doorway that you go into, and it's like a hidden area inside the Pyramid of the Sun. I can't remember which part of it it's in there, but you go through the doorway and it's like the inside of the Crocus Sphinx over there, and you go off the map, and it's kind of weird. I don't really know how to describe it. I think it's supposed to be kind of like a spirit realm, sort of. Such a iconic world with that little mystery quest, and then as well as a glitch that I don't think is in the game anymore, but there used to be a spot somewhere. It might have been the Pyramid of the Sun or maybe the Tomb of Storms, but it's like you could glitch into this hidden dungeon room that had like levers and cage doors, and you really couldn't do anything, but people glitch in there all the time with their friends. And you can probably find some videos on YouTube about that as well. I think they patched that since then, but I remember seeing people do that. And then of course they added in like the raw key fight, and then the other one that I can't think of his name. Like in the library, I think the library is pretty cool. Little rays of light coming through the windows. And then nobody can forget the iconic Order of the Fang quest to unite the people who could defeat the Tuts and put them back in the Great Sleep. And we get the iconic item, the Order of the Fang, and then the boat to the Crocus Sphinx. Who can ever forget this little ride, which is actually not us moving, but the world moving around us, in a way you could say. We're basically just kind of in a 3D video, you could say. Boat's not actually moving, we're standing still, which I think is just really cool how they did this. This was kind of, I don't know, this is very unique. And then even like finding the balance school for the first time was a pretty cool feature, because I don't think really a lot of people expected to find it at that time. If I had to pick a favorite area, it's actually really hard in Crocotopia because they're all similar but different. The Emperor's Retreat, that was a pretty cool dungeon because there's like the underground frozen lake that we have to cross. The Tomb of Storms, they got like the I think it's called the Crocohan Burrows. Karahanon, I don't know how you say that correctly. But it's the like little islands that are floating above a storm inside there. That was really cool. Hall of Champions, the Grand Arena, even the Minotaur fight. That's iconic. If you come down here, I remember people would always try to figure out how to summon the Minotaur. Ooh, parchment. Summoning the Minotaur here with the obelisks. That was a very iconic moment. Just a overall fan favorite world. Something I can never forget. Shalak the Wise. Can't forget him. Such an iconic moment. And we'll just leave that there for anyone who comes around. But yeah, so this has to be my number one, hands down, Crocotopia. So many memories here. And I know this was a bit of a longer video, guys, but if you guys did watch this far, I really appreciate it. If you watched just a few minutes, I appreciate it. If you just clicked on it by accident, I mean, heck, I'll take it. But I had a lot of fun making this video. It's probably going to be about an hour long. This video actually kind of took a bit longer and a lot of energy out of me, not going to lie, but I had a lot of fun in this video. I got to revisit some nostalgic moments, so make sure you guys put down in the comments down below what is your top 10 and what is your favorite things about the world in your top 10. I'd love to see them and read through them all. And yeah, so I gotta say, guys, it's been a lot of fun making this long video, and hopefully you guys enjoyed watching. And until my next video, I will see you guys next time. Wizard101 out.